What's up YouTube? Welcome to PhD in Waves. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to go over what wolfing is, the science behind wolfing, and why it works so well to improve your wave pattern. It doesn't matter if you have 180 waves, 360 waves, 540 waves, or 720 waves. Wolfing will work to improve your pattern. If you don't know what wolfing is basically when you grow out your hair, when you grow out your wave pattern for an extended period of time. Let's say you get a haircut and your hair is cut a little bit short. You would basically grow your hair out for 2 to 8 weeks or more, depending on your hair texture and how well your hair is trained. If your hair is super trained, you can wolf for longer periods of time without losing progress or over curling. While you're wolfing, although you can't cut the length of your hair, you could still get shape ups and tapers just to maintain the look of your haircut and the look of your waves. The only thing you can't do is you don't want to cut the length of your hair. Mainly, you just want to let your hair grow out in order to see the benefits of wolfing. If you guys want to learn more about maintaining your wolf and laying down your wolf, I actually just posted a video. Link is in the description. Make sure to check that out right after this video. So with all that being said, let's get right into the reasons why wolfing works so well to improve your wave pattern. I'm sure you've heard every waver tell you to wolf. I'm sure you've heard every YouTuber tell you to wolf in order to improve your pattern. But in today's video, I'm really going to break down like the science and the real benefits of why wolfing really improves your wave pattern. And hopefully you guys learned something new about wolfing in today's video. So the first reason why wolfing works so well is because you gain more control of your hair when it's longer. When your hair is shorter, you actually don't have that much control over your hair. You do have some control, but you really gain full control when your hair is longer. And I'm going to show you guys a quick example of how longer hair gives you more control of your curls and the direction that your waves go in. So for example, let's pretend this is your hair. When your hair is short and when it's closer to the scalp has more influence on the direction that your hair is going to go. So let's say you're trying to brush your hair. I feel like it's harder to control the direction of your hair when it's shorter, but when you start to grow out your hair, you have more control over the direction that your curls are going. So that's like the first example that I can show you guys of how longer hair gives you more control of the direction that you want your hair to grow in. When your hair is so close to your scalp, the root of your hair and your scalp is really determining the direction that your curls are gonna go in. So simply wolfing and growing out your hair gives you more control over the direction of your waves. And once you have more control over your hair, it's easier to break forks, improve connections, and things of that nature. The second reason why wolfing works so well to improve your wave pattern is because wolfing is kind of like a protective layer for your wave pattern. When your hair is shorter, it's much easier to mess up your wave pattern. Let's say your hair is super short and you sleep without a durag. It's much easier to damage your wave pattern. But if you have longer hair, all that hair is kind of protecting the lower layers of your wave pattern. There's been times where I've been wolfing and I didn't wear a durag, but it was super easy for me to bounce back and get all of my progress back. Also, you'll notice when you're wolfing, after a very long wolfing session, when you get a haircut, you'll notice that when you cut off your wolf, a fresh, healthier layer is exposed. That's because when you have a very thick, full head of hair, a full wolf, all that hair is protecting all the lower levels of your waves. And that's a great way to protect your progress. Also, when you're wolfing, you might notice your hair might be a little bit dull or frizzy. You might think you're losing some progress. But like I said, as soon as you get that haircut, as soon as the clippers cut off all the bulk, a fresh new layer appears and you'll just notice that you have more depth, you have better connections, and your waves are just more vibrant. And that's just because the lower layers of your waves are being protected by all that wolf. So the third reason why wolfing works to improve your wave pattern is because you're able to get longer brush strokes. When your hair is longer, the brush can actually go over your curls for longer periods of time. Let me give you an example. So let's pretend this is your hair. When your hair is short, the brush is only going through that hair for maybe a split second. But when your hair is longer, it could really just glide across that hair strand for a longer period of time. And that's basically going to improve your wave pattern over time. You're basically getting the most out of the brush stroke simply because your hair is longer. And when your hair is short, Like I said, it only goes through that hair for a split second. But once you start growing out your hair, you're getting way more out of that brush stroke. It's going straight through the hair, and it's pulling on the hair for a longer period of time, which is only going to improve your wave pattern. Another benefit to wolfing is you can pull entire sections of your wave pattern with one brush stroke. For example, if you've ever seen anybody with a ponytail, and if you ever see them brushing their hair, you'll notice that entire sections of their waves are being pulled together all at once. Sometimes forks are caused simply because you're brushing your hair in an imbalanced way. But once you start wolfing, you really get the opportunity to pull a whole section of hair all at once. So I always like to think of people with like ponytails. They don't necessarily brush that much, but they have so much control over their whole head of hair because their hair is longer that all they have to do is just, put it back into a ponytail and you'll begin to see ripples. And that's similar to wolfing. When your hair is longer, you're able to pull entire sections of your hair together, which will result in better connections. The fourth reason why wolfing works so much is because each layer of hair is kind of pressing on top of each other and reinforcing your curls. When you're wolfing for a very long time, you're basically layering multiple curls on top of each other, and you just have all that compressed and tucked into each other, and everything is just layering on top of each other. Once you get a haircut, you'll notice that your curls and your waves are super defined, and that's simply because you allowed all those layers to just press on top of each other, which defines all your waves, and you're just going to come out with more definition. So the fifth reason why wolfing works so well is because you're actually able to reach your full curl length. If you're experiencing any weak spots or any thinning spots, wolfing will definitely help you improve your wave pattern. For me personally, I always had trouble getting waves on the side of my head, and that was simply because the side of my head just wasn't at its full curl length. The sides of your head typically grow slower than the top of your head, so wolfing will just allow your whole head to reach its full curl length. Also, when you're wolfing, you're allowing your whole head to have more curls. Waves are essentially curls laid down, and if you have more curls at your disposal, that would just enforce your whole wave pattern. Wolfing will help to fill in any spots in your wave pattern. It will make your pattern more fuller and more thicker. And if you have any thinning spots, wolfing will help to fill in those cracks and just make your pattern look a lot more fuller, thicker, with more definition. So those are the reasons why wolfing works so well to improve your wave pattern. You basically have more control over your hair. And when your hair is longer, it just fills in any gaps. It allows you to reach your full curl length. And in turn, that's going to make your waves look more defined. You're going to improve connections. You're going to break forks. And overall, you're just going to improve your wave pattern. So if you're having any trouble with your wave pattern, you probably should start wolfing, or you should probably be maintaining your wolf a little bit better. If you're not really maintaining and laying down your wolf properly, that could be a reason why you're losing progress. Wolfing alone won't help you improve your pattern. You actually have to maintain it. And once your wolf is maintained, that will help you improve your wave pattern. So with that being said, hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about waves. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about wolfing. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you learned something new. Always make sure to thumbs up. Also, follow PhD and Waves on all social media platforms at PhD and Waves. Also, make sure to head over to phdandwaves.com to cop some PhD and Waves brushes and Durags. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.